Hello YouTube, I'm Tallman Brad, and today we're going to be having a look at the Warfare 1 Field Engineer update for Space Engineers. I'm going to be directly comparing the free content with the downloadable content. Is the downloadable content worth your £3 or $4? Let's have a look. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it or find it useful, and subscribe to easily find more of these tutorials. Subscribers are very welcome to request tutorials they'd like to see me do. Just get into the comment section and ask away. At this point, I haven't purchased the DLC. What I want to do first is just to completely make sure that what I'm showing you now is only the free content, so there's no confusion as to what you're getting. The key thing in this update is that it's all about the weapons and about your own personal weapons and not ship weapons and so on. The original character weapons have been replaced with 3 pistols, 4 rifles and 2 rocket launchers. Now each of the weapons have their own characteristics and they all require their own ammo. Now, this might cause a bit of a problem for some of you because it's going to eat up your inventory space pretty quickly if you want to carry several different weapons. Let's start with the pistols. This is the S10. So there were single presses. If I hold down the button, it just does a single shot. If I right click, it does a precision aim. Weapon 2 is the S20A, another pistol. And you can see, if I hold the button down, it works like an automatic pistol. But you can see the recoil pushing the gun upwards. So the third pistol is the S10E, and you can see the big thing about this is the targeting reticle there, just to demonstrate that we're going to get a little bit more precision with this. So a single shot, hold down the trigger, gives us 1 shot. And the S10E will hold 10 rounds compared to the first one which held 9 and the second one which held 20. So on to the rifles. Let's have a look at the first one, which is the MR20. I'll do a single press, hold down the button, still there's a single shot. Right click gives us a precision aim. And if you can see the recoil drift if you keep firing. And this holds 20 rounds per clip. On to number 5, which is the MR8P. You can see we have the precision reticule. Single shots, hold down the button, single shot. Very similar to the first one. But this is more of a sniper rifle, if you like. And it only holds 8 shots per clip compared to the 20 of the first one. On to number 6, the MR50A. You can see the drift. The recoil drift's very random on this. It's quite slow to reload, but this holds 50 shots per clip. You can do single shots, right click for the more precision shots, but hold the trigger for a few burst shots. Number 7 is the MR30E. And again, the targeting reticule is showing us that this is more for sniping. However, it will do a burst shot of about 3 shots. Next, we're on to the rocket launchers here, and there's 2 types. If I right click, I bring up the targeting reticule. I'm just going to aim at that tree over there. It's quite a distance away, but you'll see why in a second. Now I'm tapping the left button straight away so it fires as quickly as possible, and it gives you an idea of the precision. I'm still aiming right at the middle of that tree, and you can see the shots are wandering. So if I bring up the reticule, fire, same again, and tapping the right button to bring up the reticule as quick as I can, and it's fairly accurate and it's reasonably quick in firing. It is more precise when you have the reticule up as opposed to the hip shooting. Now the difference between that one and this next one is that this one is more for precision. However, you'll notice that if I try and fire it from the hip quickly, it's not firing. There we go. It's a lot slower in firing. Well, it's loading really, it's taking its time to load. It's a tiny bit more accurate shooting from the hip. But if we bring up the reticule when it's ready and aim right for the middle of that tree, we'll see the rocket has gone straight down the middle of those crosshairs for precision targeting. So these are all of the free weapons that you get with the game. What else do we get in terms of blocks? Well, we get a little target practice dummy. Let's try him out. And you'll see that he regenerates after a couple of seconds. And there's a reason for that. There's a setting in the back of the targeting dummy where you can specify how soon before the target actually regenerates. Now the pistol might have been shooting a little bit too slow, so it was regenerating before I had time to destroy it. So you can change the speed if you want to have it 21 seconds later that it regenerates, or if you want to have it sooner or regenerating instantly. But you can also set up actions so that when you hit the target it does one thing, and when the target's destroyed it does something else. I've had a bit play with that, but I'm not finding that's working particularly well. I think it could be a little bit better implemented. I'll show you what I've got. So both lights are off. That one is off, even though it's showing that it's green. It is, in fact, off. So I'm going to take a couple of shots and we'll see if this light comes on. Yeah, you can pretty much just see that that light's on. And once the target's destroyed, that light should come on. There we go. So that little guy's free. The next free thing is a corridor. This is the new corridor. It's a little bit more in keeping with the Sparks of the Future style that they've gone for now. Slightly more angled sides, a little bit of detail going on. Let's just pop my light on so you can see a little bit better. And unfortunately the strip light isn't controllable. It's just on. So this is the original passageway that we've got in the game. And you can see it's getting a little bit dated now. The textures aren't great, so something like this is just bringing things up to date a bit. And that is free. You also get the half version of it, or the sidewall version of it. So you could put two of these side by side to make a wide corridor, which is quite nice. Or you could use it to do something like this. I've set up a corridor, so this is using all of the free content. So here's the new passageway. It leads to a T-junction. And I've used one of the half blocks to cap off the T-junction and gone back to the new corridor for the rest of it. But you can see the problem we've got here is that these angles don't look great. Also, there's a bit of an air gap. I assume these are airtight, but that doesn't look too good. But still, it's another corridor to play with, and I think it's quite nice. So trying something else out with the corridor, if we wanted to do a cross junction, this is the problem we face here. We haven't got a roof on this middle section here. If I try to place a block on top of that, I can't because there is no overlap. So we'd have to put blocks across the top. Or we could use a floor panel to seal that off, but it doesn't look too good. Finally, the last thing you get for free with this update is a new scenario called the Uranium Heist. Join the fight against two other teams and be the first to repair your escape pod and obtain the most uranium within the time limit. Gather resources and expand your arsenal as you defend your territory, construct defenses, and protect your uranium carrier. Carrying uranium will slow your speed considerably, so you and your team will have to work together when escorting this precious cargo back to the base. Multiple objectives and potential paths to victory means no two games are ever the same. Is your team up to the challenge? Lock and load. When bullets fly, a little radiation will be the least of your worries. And that sounds great fun. If you're a multiplayer, then this probably will be a great little scenario to check out. So that's the sum total of the free things in the game. There are obviously a lot of updates to the game as well. If you want to read about those, I'd recommend going to the Keen Software House site. They'll go into a lot more detail than I'm prepared to in this video. But there's something I want to point out here. If we have a look in the G menu and go to the Warfare 1 blocks, you can see here it says Weapon Rack. And it requires Warfare 1 DLC, but you can see that it's actually in a shade indicating that we can use it. So if I bring that down onto my toolbar and bring that up, you think, oh look, here we go. But this is actually just the armory from one of the other DLCs. I'm going to show you which one that is. I go into the G menu. It's this one here, Decorative Blocks. Toilet, there it is, the armory. So although I've gone into Warfare blocks to see what's there, and this one looks like it can be used, it's actually the first block of that, which is a new one, but that's paid content. And the rest of these are actually content from a different DLC, which is the Decorative Blocks DLC. So just be warned about that. If you see any other videos showing you that you get these, you don't. So I'm just going to go online quickly and purchase the DLC, and let's have a look at what you get with that. So I've installed the update now, and as well as the 3 blocks that we get for free with the update, we now also get these things on the red section here. I've done that just to distinguish them. You can see here we've got a weapons rack, which looks very nice. And it's going to be useful for storing everything, so we can just grab weapons as we need them. And that's the large grid version. We also get a small grid version to place on your ship, which is quite a nice thing as well. Next we have a fire cover wall. So this is something that we can crouch behind and take shots at enemies with. Then we have the corner version of that. On from there we have a windowed version, which you can switch between the tint on the inside or the outside. You can just see the difference there. And then we have the corner version of that as well, which also can be switched from tint inside or outside. Next we have this thing called the Embouchure. Now it looks a lot like a portable shield that you might run out into the battlefield with in place. It almost looks like it's something that you would hold with your hands and deploy as you run along, but you can't pick it up. The nice thing about this is that when you're standing at it, it is at the perfect height to shoot straight through. And in order for enemies to hit you, they need to be able to aim through this gap. So it's just like the old-fashioned arrow slits in castles. I think this could be quite good fun. Now personally, I think this should be part of the free content, because this does seem like it would give players who own this an advantage. Perhaps they're going to change that. And also it's a bit of a shame that you can't pick it up, move to another spot and put it down. It will take the pistol. I'm not sure if it will take a rocket. I'm going to chance it. Yeah, the rocket went through, but it detonated a bit close to the base. Never mind. Yeah, so you can fire rockets through it as well. Oops. Then we have yet another passageway. This one has a handrail on the sides. It's a little bit more rounded looking. It's quite attractive. And to complement that, we have the half or the side version, which we could put 2 side by side to make a wider corridor. If you remember from the free content, when it came to doing a junction, there was a problem with the block in the middle where the crossover would be between the different passageways. Well, they've added that in the paid content. On from there, we have a shortened version of that, so it's a half-width block, which is quite nice. You could frame a doorway with that. I think that would look pretty good. Then we have yet another passageway, but this time it has a light fitted, and this light can be turned on or off and have the colors and brightness, intensity, etc. changed. There you can see there, I could change the color of the light to a nice red color or whatever you fancy. With the paid content, you also get access to an assault suit. And finally, with the paid content, we get a couple of new emotes as well. If you like that sort of thing, here they are. Here's the first one. And the second one. Now, in the previous episode, I showed you how to make a gun turret that protected itself with a welder. It was a very simple system, but quite a popular video. I'm going to try some of these weapons out on that, but before I do that, if you're wanting to get away now, I just want to give you my final sort of opinion on this DLC. Personally, I don't think the DLC is worth it. If you like the role-playing and you want more corridors, then go for it. If not, you get everything you need with the free content. The weapons are the key thing here. I paid £2.87, I think it was, for it. It's pretty cheap. I'm happy to give them the money to support the game, but if I was looking for something new in the game, this isn't the sort of thing I would go for. Personally, I would look at one of the other decoration blocks perhaps instead. And we're back in the tutorial world, and here's the turret that I set up in the last video with the welder, which could not be destroyed by grinders or the original rifles that we had in the game. Let's see how it fares against the new weaponry. We'll start with the first pistol. No good. Let's go on to number 2. And number 3, the S10. Not touching it. Number 4, the MR20. No good with a full clip. Number 5 is the MR8P. Firing as fast as I can. On to number 6, for the MR50A. No good. And number 7. No good again. And then we're on to the rockets now. Yeah, I think we all know what's going to happen here. I'm going to stand back a little bit. Let's go for precision. Boom. Yeah, 1 rocket shot. It's taken out the welder. It didn't actually take out the gun, but took out the welder. So therefore, the next shot is going to just destroy that system. We might as well do it. Let's pull up the last one, the precision one, a little bit further away. When you're ready, there we go. Bang, gone. Yeah. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Please visit my channel to see if there are any other videos that you might find interesting, and please get in the comments and ask if there is a tutorial that you'd like to see. Thanks very much for watching. I've been Tallman Brad. See you later. Bye bye.